Hey coffee nerds, I'm Brody, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about one of coffee's longest running debates: to rinse or not to rinse your paper pour over filter. Okay, maybe it's not one of coffee's biggest debates, especially seeing as the opinion is pretty unanimous to pre-rinse your coffee filter. But there are still some diehard non-rinsers out there. I would consider myself more of a non-rinse sympathizer. I do play around with both, but that is why I'm making this video today, to do a few simple tests that I've been conducting over the last few weeks to give you and myself a little bit of reassurance. So I have some key pieces of equipment here: pour over, grinder, scale, a few cups, water that I would typically use for coffee brewing, and then coffee itself. First, let's do the water test. So we won't need the coffee yet, but as you may know, water taste does not necessarily implicate coffee taste. And you can do this by simply grabbing some of the fanciest, most expensive waters off the shelf in the grocery store and try them out. I've done it. It does not necessarily mean better coffee, but it will give us a really good baseline of how paper affects the water taste. What I'm doing is putting the pour over the cup first, and then I'm gonna rinse with the hot water. And let's just do a rinse 96 degrees Celsius to 100 mils. I'm gonna put that cup aside. And now we're gonna do the exact same thing with the rinsed filter. 100 mils, make sure it all drips through. Let these cool a little bit. They should be more or less exactly the same temperature. And well, we'll see what the difference is anyways. So while we're letting these two cool, I'm gonna prepare the coffee side of the experiment, which is really putting it into practical application. This is already pre-rinsed, and let's grind up some coffee. I'm gonna be doing 2 brews of 15 grams of coffee in, 225 mils of water out. Everything exactly the same. And here we go. Put that on there. Kind of precarious. And 15 grams. 97 degree temperature water. Try to make this exactly the same both times so that the only variable is the rinsed filter. Put that here for now, and we're gonna put our filter here because I want to look at it later. We're gonna need another fresh filter, and this time with no rinse. Here, let's see if we can replicate this. So I am seeing the water traveling up the paper. That's just what water likes to do. And so I can see that it is a little bit more brown from the coffee. I don't know how much that is affecting the overall brew in the end, but that is happening. But seems to be going down a little bit slower. So we'll discuss that in a second. Last time we finished this brew in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so we are actually past 2.5 minute mark, but it is finished right at 2:45. So another 15 seconds could be because of the paper filter. So that extra 15 seconds would impact the extraction. But anyways, here we are, 2 different coffees. But just looking at them now, one looks a little bit more yellowed and the other one looks more just white. Okay, so let's try the water first. So this is again, I know full well that this is not a double blind or even single blind test, but you know, I trust myself. Maybe I shouldn't. Yeah, tastes like hot water, tastes fine. Let's try this one. There's definitely a little bit of something there, but not significant enough that if you would just give me sort of lukewarm or warm water, that I would notice much. If anything, this one's like a little bit more minerally, which I like, and sort of more crisp, and this one a little bit more soft. And yes, there's a little bit of that sort of, I don't know, paperiness would be the best word to describe it. So that is happening with the water, pure water. That's like our litmus test in some ways. We're trying to isolate and identify, does it taste bad? Does it taste papery? Or is it insignificant enough that I can actually save a bit of water and save a bit of time? And if I really wanted to do the scientific method on this one, I would be cracking out a refractometer just to see what the main difference is. But I don't have a refractometer. You know what's really interesting is the coloration, the color difference between these two. This one does look darker for some reason. How is that possible? This is the pre-rinsed. Yeah, it's well extracted. It has the nice sweetness to it that I like, malic acid. And this one's just a little bit more rounded, plain, and it's lacking a little bit more of that sharper acidity, and it's kind of been replaced a little bit with more of the drier acidity, which I don't tend to like, which is interesting because this one actually came out 15 seconds later. So something could be there in that extraction, but also maybe it has something to do with some of the initial coffee solubles traveling up. But there is something about the pores that change when you have a wet filter versus a dry filter. And so that might have something to do with the flavor differences that we're getting in the extraction that we're getting between these two coffees. The rinse filter to me was better. I would encourage you to do your own tests at home. You have some of this equipment, you've got water, just make sure everything is as replicable as possible. But yeah, try it for yourself. Try even drinking the water on its own. See if you can notice that papery taste. If you have ever done this at home or you are thinking about doing any other coffee experiments, do leave it down in the comments. Or if you have any science to back up the paper porousness, please leave that down in the comments if that's you. And don't forget to subscribe. More of these videos coming down the chute. Really excited to take you soon to the Canary Islands. You won't want to miss that one. So see you soon, and just gonna mix these up. It's fine. Good though.